Yeah, what is up, everybody? I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Partying for New Year's or whatever. I had a blast with my friends through a party. But New Year, time to get back to trading. It's gonna be a fun year to trade. So make sure to watch this whole video. I got a pretty much very high probability play on oil. I don't really miss on oil, so watch the whole video. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. Make some money on oil. So with all that being said, we're just gonna get into it. Make sure to show the video some love, give it a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So to start off, we got Bitcoin here. Not too much to say. Inflows is dead. Um, Watch these lines, I guess. Might want to touch liquidity, 19,000, 18,000, but you just need to watch these lines, see if you want to break through them, and then we can talk about those higher levels. But for now, no one's really touching this. It's not really going anywhere, so we'll just have to see how it goes. So on to oil. I got two scenarios here. So first off, we get one more high and we drop hard, or we don't make a new high and we drop. So regardless, it's going to come lower than it is right now. Um, and so the reason why I think so, give me a second. So I want to clear this up. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. So it's a little cluttered. We're just gonna have to leave it that way. So this is my wave counting, so I can identify the structure, see, really just kind of see it all at once, what the structure is looking like. So um, the reason I think we can make that new high is because we invalidated the likely. So if we didn't break this region, this golden pocket, you can see how really traders shifted their buys completely, and it happened very fast. Shorts covered, people bought in. You can see that kind of a quick squeeze there. Volume picked up as well. Once we broke that golden pocket, that opens up that possibility for that next wave up higher. Because if you didn't break this region, it was pretty likely that this was the structure that was forming. So you made your new low like that, and then you can go higher. But that wasn't the case. I think it's pretty likely it does want to make that new high before dropping. And if that happens, I'm going to go very heavy in a short position because there's a lot of confluence that the next high will be a top or a pretty decent top too. So first reason, you got your five waves up. Um, you're also going to be hitting this resistance right here. Um, you're also going to be hitting a wedge target, which I've been targeting for quite a while. We went long literally at the bottom here. We've just been sitting it. We rode it all the way up to around 80, I believe. We scalped that short here. I had really unlucky timing with my vacation going snowboarding, so I kind of got stuck in a few positions, but regardless, that's fine. We can just readjust and go as it goes. So first target here was that 50%. If you get that higher high, you would be hitting that target, and you're also going to have divergences on the hourlies. So if you take a look at the MACD, it's much lower than that previous peak, and it would take some serious momentum to validate that higher high without a divergence, especially on the 4 hour here. You can really see that you need some serious volume, serious momentum to invalidate that divergence. And even if we invalidate that divergence, we're going to have five waves up. So it's extraordinarily likely that if we get another high, that's going to be the top for a little bit. So that's what I'm looking for. It can top here too. We're just going to kind of have to see how it goes. If we want to make that higher high, it's really likely to get a move up to what I would be looking for is I'm just going to kind of do some live time TA here. Measure out that fifth wave by taking your fib extension from the third wave, or the second wave to the third wave to the fourth, and 84.50. So that puts it at that golden pocket of the bigger wedge, which is right around here. So if you make that higher high, I think it's pretty likely it's going towards 85, which if you go look at my YouTube and that community post, I've been targeting this region if it gets above this region. So from there, I would definitely, it's pretty smart to wait until here to take a short position. I think your odds are pretty good. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't guarantee returns, but I won't be going extremely heavy in short positions if we move up into this region. So it would lead to a very big retrace, several dollars down, like $8, $7, $8, $9 move down. So be on the lookout for that. It can top here, and if that happens, we'll just kind of have to see where we want to go. I'd close my position for profits because I wouldn't be completely sure what I want to do. It could make a new low because this could be three waves up. a lot of things can happen. So if it tops here, I'm just going to be sitting on the sidelines waiting to kind of see what kind of structure it's going to be forming. So onto natural gas. Natural gas lost a major support. So if it stays underneath this, um, there's a lot of downside left. Uh, it would go sub 4, but it could do a tweezer bottom and reclaim some major levels. You have that gap up here. I believe you have some like gaps on the way down too. So it's kind of dumb. It's been falling for 2 weeks straight. It's been red every single day. You got a 9 count now, 10 count actually. So this could do a tweezer bottom, come back up above support. Now it's a little hard to say because you made a pretty decent break underneath, so you need a serious bounce back up to reclaim this trend line. And if that's the case, that's going to be pretty interesting. I think we could see a nasty short squeeze if we reclaim this support. So if not, you got these are the trend lines to watch. Put these on your charts. Maybe there's kind of a range right here, but that's in the mid twos. So there's some nasty downside. If that happens, there's going to be a lot of short squeezes along the way from people shorting, chasing that move down. But I feel like this is manipulated. I think someone is really trying to keep this down with everything they have. So, it's tricky to play right now. We're just going to have to see what it does with this trend line, especially tomorrow. Onto the dollar. Kind of interesting. You got this. You didn't really break out of this wedge. I guess you could have a line up here too. So you kind of got rejected on that at that line, but this is a pretty clear wedge to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 rejects, goes into the territory of wave 1. And yeah, we're just gonna have to see if this double bottom holds. If it holds, you could see a move probably back up to at least the 106 region. And I think on the macro, what I'm looking at is 110, 109. You got a lot of incentive to move back up here, test liquidity. You're gonna find a lot of sellers up here too, just because of all this congestion. So we're just gonna have to see what it does tomorrow. I think tomorrow is a pretty important day for DXY to see if it breaks that double bottom, and if that happens, you could see some more. You could definitely see some decent downsides. So DXY, we're just gonna have to watch to see what it does tomorrow. Apple, very interesting spot on Apple. You broke a few important supports here. You broke this one. It reclaimed it kind of, and then immediately broke back down, and it reclaimed this support on Friday. So it's kind of interesting. You also have divergences here. So I think I'm buying to the upside on Apple. You want to play those gaps. Apple loves to fill its gaps very quickly. So you got a gap up here at 140, as well as 134. And this gap is right at this previous support. So maybe you come back up here, and then reject off of it, go lower. You also got a gap down here now, which is something you want to watch. So tomorrow it's going to be pretty important to watch this trend line here. See if you want to hold that, move back up. Yeah, we're just going to have to see how it goes. I think I am biased to the upside because it's kind of oversold now. I'm going to look at the daily quick, see what it's kind of doing. Yeah, it's oversold. Very slight divergence too. So Apple, I would be on the lookout for a pretty decent bounce, test liquidity in this region, in the low 140s. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. This is the trend line to watch. So on to Tesla. We finally got somewhat of a bounce. I haven't been trying to catch this because it's pretty much just a falling knife. It's broken all the supports that I thought it would hold. So what happened here, it fell through this tiny volume gap, but got picked up right underneath it where there were some buyers that came in. And I mean, these Tesla bulls, they really pick up anything with the slightest bit of like bullish incentive. So that's where it got picked up. You do have a gap in 94, so maybe it feels that, but it's seriously oversold. There's a lot of people shorting this. I would probably expect a short squeeze soon, just from all of these shorts chasing this move down. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. People have started shorting down here, so those people are going to get absolutely wrecked at some point. I could see this coming back to 140. You got some supply up here, which used to be a demand zone. This is what I thought would originally hold, but it sliced right through like butter. It sliced through this support like butter. It sliced through this support like butter. This support like butter. So Tesla, it's a dangerous one right now, but at some point this thing is going to bounce. Nothing falls forever. Nothing goes up forever. So, my main point, I guess, is just I'm looking for a bounce at some point, but you want to be careful if you're trying to catch a bottom on this because this thing is just non-stop falling. You got volume picking up here, so this could be some capitulation here. This could be a bottom. I can definitely see this being a bottom, but it's smart to wait and see if it's really the bottom. So Amazon, this channel we've been watching, this is the trend line to watch. We're just kind of waiting for that line to get broken, and then we can really start talking about those upside targets and where we would want to go from there. You got some high demand zones here. This volume node is in the shape of a bell curve, so you'd see a lot of accumulation and distribution on the outside ranges of this volume node, while people are just kind of trading it from the center to the outside. So you could actually see some channel trading. We'll have to see. It's a little tricky here. I don't know if there are divergences. You got divergences, but that's a pretty weak divergence to me. So we'll just have to wait and see. We're just gonna have to wait for that trend line for some kind of reaction off of it. LabVIEW, this thing is an absolute present to swing traders because it's so consistent. This is by far the best channel I've ever seen on any stock in my time of trading, and yeah, my targets are 770 to 810, and it got rejected from this trend line here, went all the way back down to the bottom, stopped out a lot of people, but all in all, it shot right back up. I think a lot of people were shorting down here because, once this bottom line breaks, there's some nasty downside. That's really the only support I see. That's like $1 or something, so that's like 90-80% from here, so I'm kind of questioning that big of a drop, but 80%, so I don't know. We'll have to see, but once that bottom line breaks, there's a lot of downside, and LabD is the stock, but not time for that yet. I think that's going to be February, March. We're finally in early 2023. I said I'm getting ready to take a major short position, right SPY down to 300, but there's a process before that happens, so you'll see me talk about that a little bit once we get on to SPY in a little bit. So LabVIEW, if we can get through this region, there's some sellers coming in here. If it can get above this, I'm looking for 770, 810, before maybe actually breaking out. You got some gaps here. This might break out soon, so we'll have to see. XBI, you got XBI got this nice breakout of that line we're watching. It did a fake out, but ultimately it broke above it, so you could see some nice upside on LabVIEW, especially if it breaks that mid $8 region. So on to semiconductors. SOXL is getting picked up in a really high demand zone here, as you can see. You got some gap to the upside. So something interesting I noticed though is you got a gap down here. Maybe this fills, and this moves pretty closely with the general market. So if you want to fill this, you would also see the market move down. You would see DXY move up a little. But I think this might want to go higher. You got some nice support on that MACD. We'll just kind of have to see how it goes, because I'm not completely sure if this is the bottom yet, but I do think it has some upside coming soon. So SOXL, I'm being patient with this one, but I think there's some upside coming. We'll talk about that a little more in tomorrow's video. So VIX, not too much to say. You're in this triangle, I guess. You could see you will see a breakout soon. You got some incentive to move down because you got this gap down here, and I don't think it's time for the VIX to rocket yet. So be patient with this one if you're trying to trade it. It's just going to be bouncing around. It's going to be stagnant for a little bit. So on to SPY futures. My last week's video, I said not much is going to happen this week. I would recommend looking at oil, natural gas, because I go check in my last video. I said I don't think we will see too much movement this week. Now I guess you saw some really those were some pretty big swings, but all in all we have not gotten anywhere. So I think there is a very good chance a lot of accumulation is happening here. You got divergences. So the things I put down was oh yeah, I forgot to mention we got down into this resistance. As you can see, that's a pretty nasty rejection. Fill that gap right away, but I really think there's a good chance we're gonna get a very nice move to the upside. Especially you had, I guess there's kind of a wedge structure. It was more of a channel, but we're just gonna pretend this is a wedge at least. Wedges only happen in waves. I believe 1, 5, A, and C. So if this is the A wave, this is the A wave, B wave, C wave. you're gonna get an insane move to the upside, higher than the August peak maybe. So, or at least maybe double top too, but it would look something like this. This is the structure we've been targeting for months now. I said we're going to move back to the 370s, pretty much no matter what, and then possibly get a disgusting move to the upside like that, and then you move down to 300, 290, those new lows. So we're just gonna have to see how it goes. It's really important that it holds this region, especially this region. If it breaks underneath this golden pocket, this entire range here, it's very likely we're probably not going to get another move up, and rather it's time to crash. So on to SPY, we're gonna take a look at these divergences. So this is really looking like accumulation to me. The histogram's about to go positive. That's on the 1 hour, not really that significant. If we don't get a breakout soon, I think you would see the MACD tone down. But if you can get this breakout, it's going to validate this MACD moving up, and you would really see that momentum pick up. And I think you could see a serious squeeze happen, because the put to call ratio is, I believe it's at an all-time high, like higher than it's ever been before. And what does that lead to? Short squeezes, because retail, it gets under my skin so much that they short at the bottoms, they go long at the tops, it kills me, it gets under my skin. But a lot of people have been shorting here because they think we're going to new lows here. And the more people that short, the more likely it is that we're going to get a crazy move to the upside, especially if we break this resistance. Now, this is the main resistance that we're at right now, so yeah, put these lines on your charts. Once we break this, we could see a very, very fast move to the upside, back up to fill these gaps near 400 and ultimately 430. So keep all of that in mind. You're going to have some very heavy resistance at 396, 395. Volume gap here. This is very important too. Make note of this. Copy what I am putting down here. So right here is a volume gap. Also, quick thing I want to point out, look at this volume node. You can see a lot of buyers picking it up in this region. Just a lot of buyers are coming in here. So I'm gonna take that off just for now, so I can point out this volume gap here. If you can get above this, so 385, 386, if we break above that, we're going to rocket pretty fast up to the mid 390s. It's going to be very swift, very fast. We do not stay in this region very long. So if we break above this, we're going up. Simple as that. But if we can't, which odds are really low in my opinion, we could be moving down. We still haven't filled this gap, so maybe this wants to fill. I think it's off by like a couple cents on like the 30-minute or whatever, but I really think it's getting ready for a nice move up to the upside. So let's see how it goes tomorrow. We just gap filled in futures, so I think might want to move up tomorrow. We'll have to see. It's getting close to a breakout, so I would not be a bear here. It's just the odds are seriously against you. Just with everything I'm looking at, it's just not really smart unless you break under 374 right here. If you break under 374, you're gonna move to the high to mid 360s. So the levels to watch: 374 right here at the bottom of this volume gap, as well as 386. So I just want to make this clear so we can come back to this in tomorrow's video and we can kind of see how it interacted with everything. This is the big level to break: 385, 386. So once we break above this level, we're going to come back to this. It's going to go up very, very fast, and it's going to be like straight up. It's going to look something like this. So we're going to leave this here, see if we do break that tomorrow, maybe the day after. It's a consolidation, accumulation, people are shorting here. So whichever way it goes, it's going to break pretty big, but the odds are to the upside. So that's all I have for this video. If you watched the whole thing through, make sure to show it some love, give it a like and subscribe. And yeah, we'll see where everything is tomorrow. Peace out, guys.